And welcome back. Spider-Man Homecoming. It is as shallow as a homecoming dance. So Spider-Man Homecoming asks important questions like, hey, do you know the Avengers Age of Ultron? Captain America Civil War? Do you remember the 1960s Spider-Man theme song? Do you know who Iron Man is? Are you a fan of Star Wars and building Lego Death Stars 20,000 times a day? Spider-Man High School Musical is a film that pretends to understand teenagers and their drama, but in no way feels authentic or real as, say, its contemporaries like Easy A or Superbad or 21 Jump Street. It's pretty much all gumdrops and lollipops for a bunch of rich kids who are maneuvering their way through high school. But in Sony's, Disney's, Marvel's Spider-Man Homecoming, gone are the days of a struggling Aunt May who is grief-ridden by the death of her husband, who is also struggling to make ends meet and help Peter Parker achieve his dreams with his higher education goals. But Aunt May is super hot now, and Tony wants in on that action, so I guess that's okay. Gone is also Peter's push to fight crime as a sort of penance and accepting the responsibility of his powers. Now Peter is pretty much just a hip, fun, cool guy who's popular at school and has a Stark internship, and everyone likes him apart from one person. So what did I think of Spider-Man, the Liz McGuire movie? It isn't a terrible film, but it's not a good film either. It reminded me of watching things like the Muppet Babies or Baby Flintstones, where they're cramming in all these characters into Peter's high school journey. And in reality, some of them shouldn't even appear until much later in his life. For example, there's a kid version of Betty Brant. She should be the secretary of J. Jonah Jameson, but for some reason she's a 10-year-old news anchor for the high school news. And she literally serves no purpose to the plot. But regarding characters, Spider-Man Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen is packed with tons of great characters, like Flash, the jock bully who wants to beat Peter up. He's basically an internet bully, whereas before you might expect Flash to want to punch Peter in the face, now Flash can only come up with silly puns on Peter's name, like Penis Parker. Flash, you are a real nasty piece of work. But in Spider-Man Prom, Flash is equally as smart as Peter. It's a really bizarre thing. No longer is he a jock, but he's just another rich, smart kid who goes to a rich, smart kid school. I can totally see this Flash being Venom one day. Also, Peter is in love with Liz. She's a tall girl with a face, eyes, and hair. And no, she's not Liz Allen. She's someone else. She has nothing to do with the plot, and there's very little to even kind of further their friendship or budding relationship. But she does have to get the line out of saying, oh, I think Spider-Man's cute, and I would like him despite what he looks like. Because obviously in real life, girls will defo love you if you're heroic, but you got a butterface. I mean, just ask Quasimodo. He got the hot girl. No, he didn't. So Liz is just there to be the Vulture's daughter and not be Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy and nothing else. She even moves to Oregon at the end of the movie, just so we know that she's 100% pointless. Then there's Fat Kid, McFunny Guy. He wants to be the guy in the chair, the Cisco Ramon. But, because he says a few jokes and is overly stunned by all the cool shit that Peter has from Tony, I guess we like him, kind of contributes to the story. But then you have Michelle. You relatable, emo, friendless loner who acts so much better than everyone and is a genius like everyone, but hates everyone and attends detention just to badly sketch people and pops up only to make snarky one-liners written by a 3-year-old, then to fade away. Super great. And well done Sony and Marvel for making her MJ. What a ballsy thing to do. Sony and Marvel aren't ballsy enough to actually make Mary Jane Watson a black or mixed race character. So to avoid controversy, they just gave you the initials of MJ, but you're really not MJ. So slow clap for Sony and Marvel. But like all the trailers and the promotion material Captain Convenience, Tony Stark shows up pretty much anytime a Spider-Man needs a pep talk or a strong word. There's other little cameos as well, like Pepper Potts is there, Happy Hogan is there, Donald Glover is there to set up that his nephew is Miles Morales, so yay. Spider-Man National Treasure has lots of clues and references to other things, because isn't that why we go to the movies? To know how big the universe is instead of actually focusing on the character story. If you love the kind of down on his luck Peter Parker fighting crime out of a sense of responsibility in a homemade suit while balancing family, friends, school, and a love life while being a genius, Spider-Man Enchanted has none of that. It does have a robotic Spider-Man suit, though, with built-in Jarvis-like tech that does 95% of Spider-Man's work for about 95% of the film. In fact, the movie makes it pretty clear that Peter would suck as Spider-Man had Tony not given him the super suit. That kind of teaches him to do everything we know and love about Spider-Man. So, thank God for Tony Stark for making sure all of our heroes are exactly who they're meant to be. And yes, Michael Keaton plays the Vulture, a disgruntled city contractor who decides to steal scraps from the Avenger battles and turns them into high-tech powered weapons to sell on the black market. Because obviously all city contractors and construction workers and demolition workers are scientific geniuses who just happen to hire other scientific geniuses that know how to manipulate alien tech and fuse it with human tech to then sell on the black market. On a positive, Tom Holland is pretty good as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but in a film where Spider-Man is right the entire time, and the only character who really learns anything is Happy Hogan, you have to wonder, did they miss the mark? Comment below and let me know what you thought of the film.